Good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm just getting stuff set up and ready, and I don't know where everybody that watches lives. I think a lot of you are along with me in the Midwest. And yesterday it was raining and just downpouring, and we got a little bit of hail. And this morning I wake up and there's like 2 inches of snow on the ground. We had finally got everything ready, like cleared off. The snow was pretty much gone except for in the piles. And now we wake up and there's 2 inches of snow sitting out there. And you know it's the wet, heavy stuff too. It's not the light, fluffy snow. It's the wet and heavy stuff because it's warm, cold enough to snow, but it's warm enough that it's just really wet. So yeah, fun stuff. And I know down in Iowa they had power outages, and a lot of places had, what do I want to say? Power outages, and there were tornado warnings that were going out, and I was just like, I think we got some crazy, crazy stuff going on right now. But welcome. Happy Saturday morning. Anyway, today's workout is going to be a mobility session. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, I really wanted a cardio or a strength session or something like that. But we really do need to work on mobility. So like once a week, sneaking in a mobility class, a yoga class, making sure that we're stretching and doing some work at the ends of our workouts is really, really, really important. And it's going to keep your joints healthy. It's going to help your joints stay strong. And it's just something that we really need to do. So I figure, once a month or once every few weeks, I'm going to throw a mobility class in here. Might be just a short one. I think I did one about 5 weeks ago as a test, and it was a short one. Today might go a little bit longer. The most important thing is do what you are able to do. So some of the positions that we do may not feel great. Don't force it. You want to, move into a little bit more of a stretch and a little bit of a bigger range of motion in some of these exercises, but you don't want to go so far that you feel pain or that it's putting a lot of pressure on things. The goal is to feel better after you do this workout, not to feel worse. Now, some of you I know may have arthritis. If you do, the rule of thumb for arthritis is you may feel a little bit of discomfort for a couple of hours after you work out, but if it's longer than that, you may have overdone it a little bit and you just need to back off a little. But we're just going to do a nice, good mobility session. Another thing to consider is work through your range of motion. I have people, this arm goes up here. This arm stops here. Don't force it to go overhead and get into a position that you don't want the rest of your body to be in, just so you can get this arm to the same height as this one. Or if we're doing an open book and I can get kind of close to the floor, I'm still not touching it, don't force yourself to get to the floor. It's okay. The whole goal is to work through your range of motion and listen to your body and just open up a little bit farther and then come back around. So everybody is a little bit different, and the hope is that if you do this on a more regular basis, try to get this once or twice a week, eventually your range of motion will start to get a little bit better, your mobility will get better, and you'll feel more comfortable and have less pain and discomfort. Today we are going to need a mat because we're going to be on the floor for a large portion of the class. If you want to have a chair or something to hold on to during the couple of standing portions, you can, but part of the challenge of the standing portions is balance work. So you're going to need a mat. If you have a foam roller, grab a foam roller. If you don't, that's okay too. And then if you have a yoga block, these are nice to have, not necessary. The mat or a rolled up towel, something to put under your heels for a couple of the exercises, is a really good idea and something that you want to have. I am going to do foam rolling for my warm-up. If you don't want to do foam rolling for your warm-up, you can just move your body, march in place, heel kicks, shoulder rolls, open and close, while I'm doing my foam rolling, I will say, hey, I want you to do heel toe rocks. I want you to do kicks to the front. I want you to do heel kicks. I will kind of give you an idea of what exercise you can do in a standing position if you don't have a foam roller. But it is 8 o'clock, so I am going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm going to use my foam roller. Any foam roller works. This is just my personal preference. I will put a link in the comments so you can look at it and which one I use. Any foam roller works. Again, like I said, I just really prefer this one. It just feels a lot better for me. So we're going to start with our calves. So I'm going to lift up and I'm going to do some rolling. If you are standing and you don't have a foam roller, I want you to do heel toe rocks. So I want you to lift your toes and then lift your heels. We're trying to wake up our ankles, our shins, and our calves. And you can do just like this. Just like this. But this is an option for anybody that has a foam roller. Good. So now I'm going to sit on mine, start to wake up my glutes. So you can do heel kicks. So you can start to do some heel kicks where you're trying to kick yourself in the tush. We don't have to get our heart rate up super high. We just want to start moving our bodies. That's kind of our goal for right now, is just to get a little bit of blood flow into the muscles and into the joints. So mobility is a little bit like dynamic movement, dynamic stretching. We're not going to do a lot of stretch and hold. And it's, I guess you could say it's also a little bit more like a yoga flow class, a little bit. But the whole point is just to run through the range of motion of your joints. Good. All right. I am going to roll over to do my quads. If you are standing, I want you to do high knee marching, or I want you to do little front kicks. We want to start moving that knee joint, and we want to focus on warming up the muscles on the front of the leg. So you just do some little heel taps to the front, or little kicks, little front kicks, like if you've ever done a kickboxing class. Little front kicks, nothing fancy. And we're not doing a long, slow stretch. Again, we're just trying to think about getting the blood flow to your joints and your muscles. Think of it like when your hands are cold and you kind of rub your hands together. Same principle. Good. I am going onto my back to do a little foam rolling on my back. If you are standing and you're not using a foam roller, I want you to do backward shoulder rolls. Backward shoulder rolls is what you're going to do. And you can see I'm moving kind of quick. I'm doing this with the muscles on my back. So good shoulder rolls. All right. Let's go ahead. We're all going to do just some open and close. Just open and close. Want the muscles kind of warming up. 3, 2, and 1. And we're all going to do just nice, easy head tilts, side to side, ear to shoulder. And as we do ear to shoulder, also think about the ear that's going up, pointing towards the ceiling. So ear to shoulder, and then lift. All right, and we're going to circle the wrists, other direction, and then we're just going to do an open and a close. So like I was saying earlier, we got snow last night and this morning. It's a little chilly, not bad, but it's not 30 below, but it's definitely not 70 either. All right, so we should be at least a little bit warmed up. We're not going to feel like we just got done with a 45-minute long cardio kickboxing class or anything like that, but we should just feel a little bit looser. And again, as we run through these mobility drills, start with a smaller range of motion and make it bigger as you loosen up. I don't expect you to be folding yourself in half right now. We are going to start down on the floor. If you've got the yoga block, you can use this as a mental preparation. I'm not going to, but we're going to start by lying on our side. We're going to pull our knees up so they are in line with our belly button. So stacked knees, stacked hips, knees in line with your belly button. Bottom hand, you're going to grab your knees. So when we open our body, our knees are getting pulled into the floor. Your top hand, you're going to grab your ribs. This is called rack of ribs. You're going to inhale, and as you exhale, pull the knees into the floor and then pull the ribs back. Inhale, return to center. The hand on the ribs goes behind the ears. Inhale, exhale, knees into the floor. Open the shoulder towards the floor the other direction. Return to center. Inhale, arm out, open book, big arms. Exhale, open. Good. Return the fingers to the floor, open book. Let your head drop. We're going to draw rainbows, and we're going to try our best to keep the fingers on the floor as we draw a rainbow. We're going to do 3 of these, so I've got 2 more. I'm still pulling my knees into the ground, and I'm opening back behind me. Depending on your shoulder and depending on your torso, you may not get that far, and that's okay. You may stop right here, and that's perfectly all right. Good. Bring it back in. Top leg, you're going to keep it where it is. Bottom leg, you're going to open the thigh back behind you. Your top arm, you're going to try to reach for your toe, your heel, whatever you can reach, and you're going to open the shoulder back behind you. So you've got knee on the floor here, open the thigh, open the shoulder. They call this the bretzel. And you do kind of look like a pretzel, but it's actually named after somebody. Release, legs are going to switch position. Bottom leg comes up, top leg goes back. Push yourself up into a seated position, and we're going to turn over this foot and do a little bit of a lean forward. So this is torso rotation and a little hip stretch. Now we're going to lie down on our tummy. Squeeze your glutes, protect your low back, shoulders down and back, and we're going to press up gently, thinking about squeezing the mid back. So we don't want to squeeze up, we want to squeeze down and back. Good. Release. We're going to do that all again on the other side. This round, I'm going to use this just because some people find it helpful to think about your body position, but you're also going to get less of a stretch. So try it, see how you feel. Again, bottom hand is going to lock those legs in, knees in line with the belly button. Start with rack of ribs, deep breath, exhale. Inhale back to the center, hand lightly behind the ear. As you exhale, open the shoulder towards the floor. Inhale, return to center, arms out, open book. Exhale, open, back behind you. Return to center, let the head rest on the ground. We're going to draw our rainbow up and around. And it's completely normal for most people to find that one side works great and has a really nice range of motion, and the other side not so much. Good, last one. All right, top leg stays where it is. Yes, you can have that block on the floor if you need it. Back leg or bottom leg opens back behind you, and we're going to bretzel or kind of pretzel ourselves. 2, 1, release. You're going to switch. Bottom leg comes in front, top leg goes back. Push yourself up to a seated position. And again, you're going to kind of turn over that foot that's in front, a little torso rotation. Release onto your tummy. We're going to squeeze the glutes to protect our low back, hands under the shoulders, and you're going to lift, and you really want to think about pulling down and back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And release. Good. We're going to sit back into child's pose. So we're going to sit back, child's pose, reach those hands out like we're using our hands to try to pull ourselves forward as our hips get pulled back. And we're going to start to rock side to side, and we're doing a little bit of a shoulder drop towards the floor. This is a little bit of an armpit opener, so we're kind of stretching out those lats a little bit. Good. We're going to come up to either hands and knees or onto a knee plank. Shoulders pulled down and back, scapular push-up. So we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together, and then we're going to press the floor away and press them apart. So squeeze, elbows are straight, and push. One more time, squeeze and push. Good. We're going to sit back. We're going to take the right hand under the left arm, thread the needle, and other side. So good reach, thread the needle. Bring it back into the center. Keeping the child's pose, we're going to take our right hand lightly behind our ear, and we're going to open out to the side. Return to center, other side. So hand lightly behind the ear, hips stay glued to your heels, open the shoulder back behind you. Good, return to center. Take that right hand back in the small of your back, and again, open the shoulder back behind you. And switch. So hand in the small of the back, open the shoulder back behind you. Good. Return to the center. We're going to come up to a kneeling stance. So nice and tall. Option 1, squeeze the glute, tuck the tail, one hand reaches back for the other, and we stretch. Option 2, if you can, reach for your heels, squeeze your glutes, and you're going to open the hips by squeezing your glutes and opening your chest, reaching back. Now we're going to take one arm up, good diagonal reach, and switch, going over to the other side, good reach. And release. We're going to be on hands and knees. We're going to do some hip work. If you need to put something under your hands to take the stress off of your wrists, go for it, or something under your knees to make it feel a little bit better. We're going to have shoulders square, hips are square, nice and tall. So good bird dog position. Right hip, we're going to keep the knee on the floor, and we're going to rotate the toe out and then the toe in. Toe out and in. So we're rotating the hip in, and each time, we have 2 more, you're going to try to take that toe a little farther out. Good. Other side. So take it out and in. And I don't know if you're watching me, you can see that the first leg that I did likes to rotate in a lot more than this one does. Good. 2 and 1. We're going to go for fire hydrants. So we're going to take the leg out to the side. 5, 4, keep your hips nice and level. 3, 2, 1. All right, and then the other side. So hips stay level, square to the floor. Sometimes we start to lift and then we lift our hip. That's not what we want. Good. 2 and 1. Brace your core, nice and neutral. Right hand reaches out, fingertips touch. Rotate from the shoulder, take your palm up, and we're going to lift and hold. 2, 1. Bring it down, other side. Shoulders down and back, brace the core, fingertips out, rotate from the shoulder, palm up, and then we're going to lift. Good. Bring it down, take the right leg out to the side, toe pointing forwards, in line with the opposite knee, we're going to rock it back. So we take it back and forwards. Two more. 2 and 1. We're going to bring it back. We're going to take that foot that's out. We're going to rotate from the hip and try to get the knee and the toe to point to the ceiling. And then again, we rock it back, rock it forwards. Good. 2 more. 2 and 1. Rotate that foot forward again. Stay up or rock it back. We're going to thread the needle. So you can stay in an upright position, or you can also rock it back just like you did before. Release, bring it up. This is my least favorite exercise to do. Keep the hips level. We're going to lift and hold that right leg. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set it down, bring it in, sit back a little, shake out that hip and that glute. We're going to go through and do the other side. I'm going to turn so you can see. So foot is out to the side, toe pointing forwards. We're just going to rock it back, rock it forward. So we don't want to shift all of our weight, so we're doing a split on both sides. The leg we're kneeling on, we're keeping our weight over that knee. How far you go back is up to you. Last one. Good. We're going to take that foot, we're going to rotate it. Try to get the knee and the toe to point towards the ceiling. Take it back and take it forward. So I still feel this on my inner thigh a bit, but you may feel this a little bit more in your hamstrings. Just depends on what's tight and where you are tight. Good. Last one. Turn that toe back forwards again. Stay up or rock it back. We're going to thread the needle. Hand is going to reach towards those toes. Bring it back up. Time for that leg lift. Brace your core, shoulders down and back. Squeeze the glute. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set it down. Bring it in. Sit back into your hips. We got 3 more exercises on each side. So we're going to do kneeling stance, hip circles. Brace your core, stabilize your pelvis. We're going to take knee to elbow, fire hydrant, donkey kick, and then bring it in. So we're doing nice, good circles. Good, 2 more. 2, 1. We're going to go the other direction. So donkey kick, fire hydrant to the side, and then knee to elbow. Notice I'm not doing a lot of rounding and arching of my back. It's all hip. Good. Now we're going to do 5 donkey kicks. Squeeze the glute. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Switching sides. Same thing. So good position. Knee to elbow, side, and circle back. Think about you're wearing a brace on that knee. Good. Other direction. Donkey kick, fire hydrant, and elbow. And good donkey kicks. So good glute squeeze. Tuck the ribs. 3, 4, and 5. We're going to sit it back and we're going to roll over onto our back. So we're going to give those wrists and those knees a little bit of a break. Make sure that you have room down in front of you and on either side of you. We're going to do some more leg work. So we're going to start lying on our back. Legs are straight. The whole focus for this session, this segment, is to think about tucking your tail, keeping your spine neutral, your tummy flat, and it's okay if you naturally have fluff, so it kind of is up a bit, but we just don't want to arch so that you can fit your arm underneath your back. So notice how you feel. Let's take the right leg and we're going to bend the right foot, put it flat on the floor. We're going to tuck our tail, squeeze the left glute, pull the toe up, lifting from our hip. We're going to bring it up and then take it down. So nothing is moving except your hip down to your toes. Low back is pressed into the floor. Good. Let's take it up and hold it. 3, 2, 1. Set it down. Switching sides. Left foot on the floor. Right leg is straight. Squeeze the quad. Pull the toes up. Lift and lower. If you get to here and you feel a stretch, that's as high as you go. Don't feel you have to get your toes up to your face or your bottoms of your feet to the ceiling. Let's take it up and hold it. 3, 2, 1. Set it down. Switching sides. Same thing for the leg. Squeeze the quad, pull the toe up. Bring the leg up high as you can. Now we're going to take it out and in, and your opposite hip stays glued to the floor. We don't want to take it out and then go down and drop it to the floor. Last one, take it out and hold it. Bring it back up, set it down, switching sides. So straight leg, squeeze the quad, pull the toe up. You're going to lift and you're going to take it out and in. And even if your leg is down here and it's not pointing to the ceiling, that's okay. You're still going to try to take the outside edge of the foot out to the floor. Last one, take it out and hold it. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back up, set it down. Frog stretch. Bottoms of the feet are touching. Tuck your low back. Let the knees drift out to the side. If you're good, keep it here. If you want to deepen the stretch, squeeze your glutes. So that's going to open those hips up more, deepen the stretch for you. You can see I don't touch the floor. It's all good. Go for it. Bring it back up. Both knees are bent. Take your right ankle, cross it over your left thigh just above the knee. Use your muscles, pull the knee out to the side for a figure 4. You may start to feel a stretch. Bring that leg across the body. Foot goes to the floor. So right foot is going to the floor. Right shoulder stays as close to the floor as you can get. And we're going to open that right arm up towards overhead. This leg, we don't want to let the knee come in. We want to pull that leg out. Release, bring it back in, switching sides. Left ankle over the right thigh, just above the knee. Pull this leg out, bring it across the body. So you should feel a stretch in your hip, and then we're going to take that left arm up and overhead if we can. So we're kind of getting a torso stretch and then a little bit of a TFL stretch. Release, bring it back in the center. Keep the left leg up. Left leg is going to cross over the right. The left leg is going to pull the right leg across the body, and then our right arm is going to reach up and overhead again. So you can see I don't go very far. We're just using our leg as an extra hand to help pull that knee over. Release, switching sides, cross the legs, right leg over the left. Pull the left leg across the body. Left arm goes up and overhead. So just nice, good stretches. Release, bring it back into the center. I want you to take the legs out, and I want you to notice if you feel looser and able to keep the low back to the floor when you take your legs out. I do. It's nice. So let's go ahead, bend the knees. We're going to roll ourselves to the side. And we're going to come up to a half kneeling stance. If you need to put something under your knee for cushion, please do. So we're going to come up to a half kneeling stance. I like to have my ankle under my knee or even just a little bit ahead because we don't want to look like this. So nice and tall, we're going to start with our hands on our hips, and we're going to just tuck our pelvis and then relax. Tuck and relax. And while we do this, think about your back leg. We don't want to let it rotate in so that we're opening the hip out. We want to have everything in line as much as possible. Good. Keep the tuck, keep the squeeze, gentle push forwards and back. Every time we go forward, we should feel a slightly deeper stretch in the hip, but we should not feel like we're arching our back or leaning forwards. Good. Last one. Keep the tuck, keep the squeeze. We're going to imagine that we are in a very narrow hallway, and we're going to bump our hip on the hallway on either side. So we've got a tuck, we've got a squeeze, and now we're doing hip bumps. 2, 1. Bring it in, tuck and squeeze, reach corner to corner. Lower body is frozen, upper body does the rotation. 2, and 1. Good, and now we're going to take this hip, open it out to the side or to the corner. This hip stays pointing forwards. Tuck and squeeze, press this knee out, and we're going to add a nice good side bend, reaching for the ceiling. Bring it in. We're going to switch, go to the other side. So good half kneeling stance. Check your leg position. Start with your pelvis tucks, tuck, and release. So this isn't a lot of low back movement. We're just doing tuck the tail and then relax the tail. Think about trying to squeeze and point your tailbone towards the floor. 2, and 1. Hold the tuck and the squeeze, front knee, a little push forward, a little push back. You should be able to feel a deeper stretch just by going an inch or 2 forwards. You shouldn't feel like you have to go 6 inches just to get a deeper stretch. Good. Keep the tuck, keep the squeeze, and now we're going to do our hip bumps side to side. Good. 2, 1, tuck and squeeze, corner to corner reach. 2, 1, bring it in the center. We're going to open out to the side. Again, tuck and squeeze, gently press that thigh out, and we're going to reach for the ceiling. So lift the ribs, drop the hips. We don't have to go over. Try to reach up, nice and tall. Release, bring it in. We're going to sit on our bums. We're going to do matador sequence. So we start with our legs a little bit wide. If you need to have your hands back here for a little support, go ahead and do that, but your challenge is to not have to do that. So we're just going to go side to side. So we're dropping the outer thigh and the inner thigh on one side and then over to the other. So again, you can use your hands if you need it, but try doing this without your hands. Good. Take it to one side. We're going to hold it. Your foot can be in line with your leg, but you don't have to have it touching. If you can take it to a little more 90, but your choice. You're going to turn over the hip that's in front, and if you can, you're going to thread the needle and reach to the other side of your body. So if I turn a little bit, I'm turning and I'm doing a little reach through. Good. Bring it back into the center. We're going to do tripod. So hand is by the hip of this leg. Nice good squeeze. We're going to come up into a little bit of a bridge. So squeeze the glute. Right here, you can open up. Good. And then we're going to bring it back down again. So we are going to do, I always forget this one. So we are going to take it, turn over, reach our hands out as far as we can, and then we're going to start to walk ourselves around to the front, and we're going to keep reaching. And as you start to come around towards the front again, you're going to notice that this leg, it's a little bit easier to straighten it, and we're going to come out to a nice good hamstring stretch. Adjust this foot if you need to. Good reach. All right, we're going to bring it up. This one's a little bit tricky for some people. This leg, we're going to lean away and we're going to try to get this leg to go back. Some people can do this, some people can't. If you can't, it's okay. But we're going to take our hands back and we're going to squeeze and do a bit of a reverse bridge. And we're going to lift up, and you should feel again like the tripod, this hip is really opening. Good, bring it down. We're going to take this leg, bring it back around to the front, forward reach, and we're going to walk our hands all the way back. And each time you walk, you keep trying to reach farther and farther out. Your leg will naturally want to start to rotate in. And as you do, you bend it, and then I want you to go as far as you can without pain or discomfort. And then you're going to lift the hands up, come back around. And now we're going to do the other side. So we have our leg here. We're going to switch over to the other side. And we're going to turn and we're going to add that good reach. Actually, we got to go all the way from the beginning, don't we? I do this every time. So we're going to turn and we're going to add that thread the needle. Sometimes I do everything on one side and then the other, and then sometimes I alternate. So we all have our moments. Good. Bring it in, the hand that's in back. Good tripod, so shoulders down and back. Good squeeze. We're going to lift. You can add that arm reach. So we're opening the front of our body on one side. Bring it down. Good. Now we do our turn and we reach out as far as we can and we walk ourselves around. Keep reaching out, and as you get closer to the front, you straighten that leg, and then you're naturally going to be able to turn into a good hamstring stretch. If you're not very flexible, your reach might be here, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So deep breath. Bring it up. We're going to take this leg. You can lean away, and we're going to take it back behind us. How you bend it is completely up to you. Hands are going to be back. Squeeze the glutes. So this is the hip we're going to open. And I don't feel this one a whole lot. I feel pretty good with this one, actually. Bring it down. Bring this leg back around to the front, reaching forwards, and we're going to walk it back around. This foot is naturally going to want to turn in. Go ahead and let it bend. Reach, bring it all the way around as far as you can, pain-free range of motion. Release, bring the arms back around to the front. All right, we are going to come up to standing. If you need to stop here, I completely understand. We have one more standing sequence that you might want to hold on to something, and then we have a squat sequence that quite a few people, if you have very tight hips and ankles, will find very challenging. So decide if you want to stay for that and give it a shot, or if you want to go ahead and leave. I completely understand. But we're going to come up to a standing position. Take your time. This is a good chance to grab a super quick drink of water. And we're going to do a standing sequence. You may need something to hold on to. So plant your foot nice and tall. We're going to bring the leg up, and we're going to pull the knee up into the chest. Now, without putting your foot down, I want you to try to grab your ankle, and we're going to open that leg back behind us. So it's very important that this knee doesn't bend and we don't stick our hip out. So nice and tall, squeeze the glute. Bring the leg up in front. Like I said, balance challenge. We're going to open this leg back behind us, step over the gate. Now we're going to bring it back around. We're going to take this foot, cross it behind the other one. Reach up nice and tall. The foot that's in back, that hip is going to push out, and we're going to reach for the toes of the back foot. Good. Bring it back up. Stay in this position. Hands into the small of the back, shoulders down and back. We're going to squeeze the elbows together. Keep the ribs tucked. Release. Take the leg that's in back. Bigger step back. Little bigger cross behind, feet are flat. You're going to add a side bend. So the hand and the leg are on the same side. They're kind of reaching towards each other. Good. Bring it in. We're going to do a reverse toe touch. If you need to, hands go on a chair instead of grabbing your toes. Squat it down as much as you can. Grab your toes. Keep this neutral spine position. And then start to straighten your legs. So you'll notice I'm not dropping my head below my heart. I'm trying to keep a neutral spine, and it's okay if your legs don't straighten. Mine don't. Squat it down, walk it up about halfway. Move around, make sure the head and the blood knows where it's supposed to go. Bring yourself back up. We're going to do the other side. So nice and tall. Roll the shoulders. We're going to bring the leg up. And we're going to stay tall, like we're trying to lift the knee up towards the ceiling versus trying to get it into our nose. Bring it down, hand grabs that ankle, and we want to open the thigh back, staying tall. It's okay if your heel doesn't get to your tush. We want to open the thigh back. Squeeze the glute for a deeper stretch. Let's bring that leg up in front. If you can, big step over the garden gate. And then bring it back over and around. That leg, cross behind to the other side. Reach up, push that hip out to the side, staying tall. You're going to reach for the toes. Nice good stretch in the hip and maybe even the back of the leg. Bring it up, stay in this position. Hands go to the small of the back. Tuck your ribs, squeeze your elbows together. Release the leg that's in back. Bigger step back, little bigger cross behind, feet are flat. And we're going to do a nice good side bend. And we want to try not to go forward and we want to try not to turn. So we're stretching our QL, quadratus lumborum, muscle in the lower part of the back. Bring it up, feet hip width apart, squat it down, hands either go to a chair or an ottoman or they grab your toes. Neutral spine, start to straighten your knees. Deep breaths. Then exhale, squat it down again, walk it up, halfway up, whatever you need to, and then bring it all the way up. We have one more series that we're going to do. This one, it can be very challenging for you, so don't feel frustrated if you're not able to do it. It's okay. But we're going to take a mat or a rolled up towel, whatever you have, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And then if you have a foam roller or a yoga block, you're going to put that between your thighs. So just between the thighs. A little foam roller is going to be a little bit harder, but we're going to take our feet hip width apart, keep that foam roller, or if you don't have something like this, don't worry about it. You're going to have your toes on the mat, heels on the floor, nice and tall. We're going to fold at our hips and we're going to reach down towards our toes. And you can see I don't get there. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Good. Bring it up. Release. Now we're going to step so that our heels are on the mat. Heels are on the mat. And you're going to find that this is much easier. So arms up, fold, and we're going to reach down. Good. Bring it back up. Now we're going to take our feet flat on the floor. Same thing. Reach up, fold at your hips, and we're going to reach down towards our toes. Good. Bring it up. We're going to take the yoga block or the foam roller, and we're going to take it out. We're going to put our heels back on the mat. Now, this is the part where it gets really challenging if you're not able to do it because it's a very deep squat. We're doing butt to grass. So wider stance, heels on the mat will make it easier, toes pointing out, nice and tall, and we're going to squat it down, and we're going to try to sit into a deep squat. Another option, sit on something low, like a footrest, an ottoman. This is where that comes in handy. We don't want to bend over. We're trying to press the knees out, and we're just going to do a little side-to-side rock. Side-to-side rock. So you can even put, like, if you've got a really, really low footstool, like a step stool, you can sit on the step stool and kind of do some of the same exercises. Make it a little easier for you. Good. So just a good lateral rock. Now we're going to take the right arm, press the right leg out, and the left arm we're going to open back behind us. Release, switching sides. So left elbow presses the left leg out as we open. Good. Bring it back into the center. We're going to be bringing our arm up and our arm up. And I will tell you, I get dizzy when I do this. Prepare yourself. And we're going to try to come up to a standing position. Deep breaths. Exhale. Take it forward if you need to. Like I said, I always get dizzy when I do that one. Good. And then we're going to bring it in. Set that off to the side. And we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths in right here. So breathe in and out. One more time. Breathe in and out. And you are all done. All done, all done. I just realized something. Okay, good. I was about to panic. I thought I didn't turn my microphone on. I was like, wait, I just did a whole class without a microphone on? No way. All right. I hope that you enjoyed the mobility session. I know that some of the exercises can be a little tricky or a little challenging, and that's when listening to your body and just doing the best that you were able to do becomes very, very, very important. So like when we did that one tripod and we took the leg back, if you have trouble with that one, it's okay. Sometimes just taking the leg back there and leaning back a little is all you need to do. You don't have to worry quite as much about the tripod or doing the segments that you're able to do. You do want to try the segments that you struggle with and just find a way to modify, because it usually means that that's a section that you really need to work on, if that makes sense. So the stuff that we struggle with is the stuff that we need to work on the most, right? So that's pretty much it for today. I always forget what I'm going to say. Remember to like my page, subscribe, and then hit the little notification bell, because that will let you know when I have a live stream scheduled, when I'm going live, when I add a video or do anything like that. It'll send you a little notification to say, hey, I'm doing something. Let me know if there's any classes that you would like to see that I haven't done yet or that you would like to see more of. If you want to do short workouts, if you want to do some longer workouts, today is a little longer than what I normally do. I usually try to do about 30 minutes, and today was about 45, so a little bit of a longer session, but we all need this, and this is something we need to do once a week at least. If you can get twice a week in, great. I have other mobility sessions on my playlist that are mobility that are shorter, 10, 15 minutes, that focus on specific things. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to put them in the comments or check out my website. Everything is listed at the top of my YouTube page. I hope you enjoyed the class. I hope to see you again, and maybe even in some of my live classes. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you later. Bye.